Salam alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een ma ba'du. Tayyib, we're still in Kitab al-Siyam, the book of fasting. We stopped and we're picking up on the pillars in the sunnah, the things that are recommended to do while we're fasting. قال المصنف رحمه الله وفرضه, the pillar of fasting. What is the pillar of fasting? He says الإمساك عن المفطرات من طلوع الفجر الثاني إلى غروب الشمس. That a person does not, or a person stays away from the things that's going to break the fast from, of course, it's from a specific time, right? It says from طلوع الفجر الثاني, from the time of the second fajr. Okay? The second fajr. Meaning, there are two times. It's called the Fajr al-Awwal or Fajr al-Thani. There are two times for fajr. Okay? The first fajr, that time period, is not the time that we pray. It's called al-Fajr al-Kadhib. Even if you translate it literally, the false fajr, you could say. The false fajr. Where the sky looks like, this is if you're looking at the sky, the line. A light comes in the sky and it looks like it's time for fajr, but then it gets dark again. Right? It's not time for fajr yet. And then when the real time for fajr comes, the sky begins to get brighter and brighter and brighter. So the time we talk about the second fajr is the second one when it's time to pray fajr. The details of those times are found in the book of prayer, the book Kitab al-Salat. Why would it be in the Kitab al-Salat?
Because it's talking about prayer.
It's talking about the times for prayer. When is each prayer? Each prayer has a time period. So the time period for Salat al-Fajr, the details of that are found in the book of Salat, Kitab al-Salat, when they're discussing the times for each prayer. It's mentioned here because, and this is important, the time for fasting is connected to the adhan of Fajr. The fast begins at the adhan of Fajr. The fast does not begin sunrise, as we know sunrise to be on the news in the morning. Every morning on the news there's a little thing on the side to tell you what time the sun rises. And it's usually now it's probably like 7 something. Grab that food. So it's important to make sure if we're starting at 7 something, that means we didn't fast that day because we already missed the hour and some change of that fast, right? So the fast begins, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm just saying you have a schedule in the house that's printed out, right? I'm not getting this minute. I'm just saying if you have a schedule in the house printed out that the house is using. The fast begins when it says the adhan of Fajr is at 5:32. That's the adhan. That means that's what time the mu'adhin is going to call the adhan. That means you're not supposed to be eating past that time. You with me? You know, you print the prayer schedules out, and they got all the times for the 5 prayers on there. The first one, the first row, the first column says Fajr, and it says 5:32, for example, or 5:30, whatever time it is. That's the time the fast begins. You can't eat after that. You shouldn't be eating past that time and saying it's still dark out. If that's what you want to do and you know what you're looking for, because I'm not saying that the prayer schedule is the exact time. I'm just saying, I'm giving an example to make sure we understand, to make the connection that the fast begins when the adhan for Fajr. That's what time. Let's just say it wasn't 5:32, it was 5:35. Okay, well, it begins at 5:35. But it does not begin what we see an hour and a half later, sunrise on the news, which is usually like an hour and 15 minutes or 20 minutes later or something like that. That means that a person has already, the fast began earlier. So he says this is the pillar. The pillar of fasting is that we stay away from the things that will break the fast from the adhan of Fajr, which is the Al-Fajr al-Thani. طيب. He says, وَسُنَنُهُ سِتَّةٌ, 6 things that are recommended to do for the fasting person. Number 1, how many things?
6.
He mentioned 6. The first one, تَعْجِيلُ الْفِطْر, rush to break the fast. When it's time to break fast, that you hurry up and break it. What's the hukum?
Rush.
La. La. Mustahab. Sunnah. Recommended. Recommended means what though? It gotta make sense. If we saying it's recommended to hurry up and break the fast, number 1, you hurry up and break the fast when? When you sure it's time to break fast. So right now, we do this every day. Every day at Mugger, we got to do the same thing. Somebody's van goes off on his phone, then his goes off, then this one goes off, and this one goes off. Which one is right? Allah Alam. Allah Alam. The last one is safer though. It's safer. Is it safer for you to fast it a whole day? Now we got 2 different times we looking at. Is it safer to break it early or to just wait 2 extra minutes and break it later? That's safer, right? So that's the safer thing to do. Tayyib. It says the sunnah is recommended to when you sure. When you sure, so I'm just using numbers, y'all. I'm not saying today. I'm just saying, if we're gonna say, all right, we breaking at 7:30. When it's 7:30, then we sure it's time to break. Halas, then you break. But if we in a situation like we usually in, it's a bunch of brothers in here, and there's 3 different times. His says 26, his says 28, and his says 30. Which one is the right time?
30. Well,
That's the safest time. 30 is the safest time. Which one is the right time? At this point, we kind of like it's up in the air, right? It's up in the air. Tayyib. When we going to apply this? Rush to break it. At which one? The safest is to use the last one. Everybody with me? I'm not saying 30 is, I'm saying that's the safest one so that we don't fast the whole day and then we end up breaking our fast early by 3 minutes when we could have took the safe route and just waited 2 extra minutes. So hurrying to break the fast is when you're sure that it's time to break the fast. And I'm just using this because that's what we do. If it's people looking at the moon, sighting the moon every night, and they paying attention to the set, the actual looking at it, it's the same thing when you're sure that it's time to break. Meaning you don't break fast, you moving around, you're not at the masjid, because that's when it really counts. You're not at the masjid, you moving around. So you think it's time to, you look at your phone, hey, it look like it's time to break. Then you say to the person with you, what time we break yesterday? I don't know, I thought it was like 22. Are y'all sure? Don't run, don't hurry up. It's probably, if it was 22 yesterday, it's probably 23 today. I'm gonna just break. Nah, are you sure you know what time it is? You should get sure. You break the fast, you hurry up and break the fast when you're sure. So if you're out moving around, right? How can you get some surety and clarity that it's time to break fast if you're not at the masjid? Huh? Look at the app.
I would say look at the sky.
Look at the sky. So if you look at the sky, of course you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, the star. The first star at night, right?
Allah Alam. The star, I don't know about that. This is not a trick question, but listen what I'm saying. We already got the apps. Listen what I'm saying. We already got the apps, right? If I'm by myself or it's a group of us, we all got apps. We in the same situation.
When they get a little deeper in the night, the dark, when they get a little dark, like I see that.
Listen, it's real easy. If I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. If I'm out moving around, I'm making, my phone dies, my app ain't working, it don't even reload and all that crazy stuff, right? All you gotta do is call somebody who's possibly at the masjid. Yo, did y'all break fast at the masjid? All the Muslims at the masjid broke fast? Yeah, all right, break fast. Other than that, we in the same situation going back and forth. Yeah. No, I meant the app died. Hopefully the phone won't die. If the phone died, then listen, if the phone dies, then you better off waiting. I'm just safe. I'm saying safe. You better off waiting like 10 minutes, 10 extra minutes. Ta'jil al-fitr, hurrying to break the fast is to make sure when you sure it's time to break fast. So let's just say we break fast, for example, at 7:30. You know everybody's sure. They broke fast in the masjid at 7:30. You at the masjid, everybody broke fast. But you still talking to brothers, you see people you didn't know. It's water right here, it's dates right here. No, hold on 1 minute. You should hurry up, break your fast, and then continue the conversation. طيب, the second sunnah, second thing that's recommended, تأخير السحور, to delay the suhoor close to the adhan of fajr as possible. Sunnah, recommended, meaning these things are all recommendations. Meaning, right now the suhoor is about 5:30 in the morning approximately, right? You can eat suhoor at 4 in the morning if you wanted to. But it's better to eat the suhoor closer to 5:30, closer to the adhan. What's the benefit of that?
More nourished throughout the day.
Huh?
More nourished throughout the
More nourishment throughout the day. You figure if you ate it, let's just say you ate your suhoor at 3 o'clock in the morning. The adhan for fajr is at 5:30. You still got an extra 2 hours you could have been eating or resting, or right? The closer you eat to the adhan of fajr, perhaps the longer that food is going to last you throughout the day to give you energy and strength. طيب. Number 3, while we're fasting, وَزِيَادَةُ فِي أَعْمَالِ الْخَيْرِ, doing more good deeds. We should be doing more than we usually do. Whatever we're not doing all throughout the year, we should be trying to do more during Ramadan. Don't listen to people who say stuff like, oh, you just trying to do that because it's Ramadan. Yeah, this is the time to do that. That's what we're supposed to be doing. You're right. That's Allah Mustaan. That's like almost a deception from the shaitan to get you not to do something. Oh, you only doing that because it's Ramadan. Yeah, I am doing it because it's Ramadan, because we know that this is a time that is a blessed time, so we should be doing it. Don't listen and say, no, I'm not. Because somebody tell you only doing it because it's Ramadan. So what, you going to stop doing it now? What's that?
Some people might, because they feel like they might be discouraged.
Yeah, that's the point. Don't let that discourage you from taking advantage of the month.
Right.
Yeah, that's a whisper. Don't let that type of talk discourage you from taking advantage of the month of Ramadan. طيب. Number 4. وَقَوْلُهُ جَهْرًا إِذَا شُتِمْ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ. The next thing that's recommended to do, as we say, when somebody's getting out of line with you and they talking kind of reckless, as we say, they talking reckless, they getting a little crazy, they getting argumentative, is that you say out loud so that they know. You say to them, I'm fasting. I'm fasting. Inni sa'im. If you say it in Arabic, they might not know that. You want to tell them you fasting, I'm fasting. And that should be like a deterrent for them to calm down, let them know that you, as we say, I'm bowing out gracefully on this one. You got this one, I'm fasting. طيب, number 5. وَقَوْلُهُ عِنْدَ فِطْرِهِ. He says, number 5, he mentions the hadith, dua here. And some of the ulama argue if this dua is authentic or not. Either way, the hadith, the dua, Allahumma laka sumt wa ala rizqik aftart. Subhanaka wa bihamdik, Allahumma taqabbal minni, innaka anta as-sami' al-alim. This hadith, some have said is not authentic, but either way, there are other hadith that are supposed to be said or can be said when you break the fast. Meaning, we know we're hungry when we break the fast. We're hungry and we're thirsty. But even with that hunger and that thirst, that at the same time, we still remember that it's Allah that gave us whatever we get ready to break the fast with, so that we still make dhikr and remember Allah when we break the fast. Don't just forget about all we did the whole day, and that we still make dhikr of Allah when we break the fast. It's another dua. ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وثبت الأجر inshallah. It's other du'as. If you're looking fortress of the Muslim, you can find a dua for breaking the fast in there, inshallah. That was number 5, right? طيب, number 6, he says, وَفِطْرُهُ عَلَى الرُّطُبِ. It is recommended to break the fast على الرُّطُبِ. Rutub is, it's a date, but it's a date at a certain stage. Dates go through stages. If y'all want to pass this around, you can see what a rutub is. It's in the back of the, it's free advertisement. If you got the book, it's in the back of the book. Rutub, the one in the middle. Dates go through stages, so even though they're all dates, that's why they look different. Sometimes they light brown, sometimes they dark brown. You could pass it around, you know. MashaAllah. طيب, recommended to break with that certain type of date. And if that type is not available, he says, فَإِنْ عُدِمَ فَتَمْرٌ. If that one is not available, then you break with, it's called tamr. Tamar is also a date though. They just, each stage has a different name. So the rutub is the first one. The second one, if you don't have those types, then the tamar. If you don't have any dates to break at all, what should you break with? Water. Water. Bread and water. طيب, water, inshallah. طيب, فصل. It says, وَيَحْرَمْ عَلَى مَنْ لَا أُذْرَ لَهُ الْفِطْرِ بِرَمَضَانِ. He said it's haram. It's haram to break your fast for a person who does not have excuse. What does haram mean to us, though? Forbidden. What does forbidden mean to a Muslim? Forbidden is a translation of haram, not the translation. It's a sin. And a person deserves to be punished. A person deserves the punishment of Allah for breaking the fast on Ramadan without a valid excuse. طيب. So he says, Yahram, it is haram, forbidden, not permissible to break the fast during Ramadan without a person having a valid excuse. طيب. He says after that, وَيَجِبُ الْفِطْرُ عَلَى الْحَائِضِ. Sisters, I hope the sisters know, it's obligatory for a sister who is on her menses to break her fast. The mens, a woman on her menses, she cannot fast. The fast doesn't count, even if she felt like she was strong enough to do it. It's not going to count. She's still going to have to make the day up. She's still going to have to make the day up. Also, the woman who has postpartum bleeding after she had a baby, that she cannot fast. Even if she felt like she had the strength to fast, that day is not going to count for her. She still has the bleeding from the baby after birth. She cannot fast until that blood is finished. How many people is that have to break the fast? It says first one, the pregnant woman, right? And then the woman with postpartum bleeding after she has a baby. The third one, وَعَلَى مَنْ يَحْتَاجُهُ لِإِنْقَاذِ مَعْصُومٍ مِّن مَهْلَكَةٍ. He says it's obligatory for a person to break the fast if you, for example, right, you're in a situation and somebody's in a life or death situation. Somebody get ready to get a serious injury. You can save them from that injury, right? But in order for you to save them, it might break your fast. Everybody with me? If you save them, it might cause you to break your fast. What's more important? MashaAllah. Fast is more important of a life of a person? La. The fast is not more important than the life of a person. Right, you with me? That's what we up against. What's more important? Me, my fasting day that I can make up, or a person's life that is no getting that back? No doubt. So you break your fast, and it's no sin. That's the point. It's not a sin on a person. That don't mean they don't have to make the day up. But it's not a sin to save a person from destruction if it causes you to break your fast. Yes. Let me give you another example because I was just going to mention it. We making the salat, right? A brother falls out and has a seizure in the salat. What should you do? Tend to him. Who keeps praying like he's not even falling on the floor shaking? Who does that? Nobody does that. Nobody. Everybody pays attention and helps the brother. You don't sit there and let somebody have a seizure. They could choke and die. We could break our salat, save a person, and then stand up and pray. Make the prayer up. You with me? Everybody clear? We can break the salat, save the brother, the sister. She got to go in the ambulance, get off to the ambulance, get her to safety. They take care of them. We come back and pray. Alhamdulillah. We're going to stand there. We're going to stand in the salat and keep praying like they not on the floor having I'm saying because it happened before. The brothers just kept praying like he fell out. Bam. Right? Alhamdulillah, he didn't die, but a person could die like that. And it's kind of like the same situation. One doesn't really, I was thinking about it on the way here and I got distracted, so I don't really have an example for that one. Further.
A person needs a blood transfusion and got to be injected
one blood to take it out and another one.
MashaAllah. That's a good one, Sheikh. MashaAllah. Drawing blood breaks the fast. Tayyib. The person needs some blood in the middle of the day during Ramadan, and it's an emergency. They say if they don't get such and such quarts of blood, they're not going to make it. And you standing there. You say, man, I'm fasting, man. I ain't breaking my joint for that. No, yeah, Sheikh, that's... Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Jazakallah khair. That was a good example because I couldn't think of one. Clear? That you saving a person so the sin may not be there, but you still have to make the day up. Tayyib. It says, وَيُسَنُّ لِمُسَافِرٍ يُبَاحُ لَهُ الْقَصْرِ. Also, it's recommended for the fasting person. It's recommended to break the fast for the person traveling, as long as you, as a traveler, are allowed to shorten the prayer. Slow line. That makes sense?
No.
All right. One of the benefits of traveling, right, is when we travel. So let's say we're going from here to New York. We're going from here to Virginia. We're going to D.C. We're going to Florida. We're going to Atlanta. We're going to wherever we're going, right, at that distance. And we're fasting. We can break the fast if we choose to. The traveler is allowed to break the fast while they travel. They don't have to, but they're allowed to. All right? Now, this is the issue. Let's back up. Some people travel. They going to D.C. and they going to Washington. They going wherever they going. And they're going there to do something haram that the Muslim is not supposed to be doing in the first place. Clear? They're traveling to commit a sin. Everybody with me? The people who travel to commit sins, they don't have the right to shorten the prayers. So that means they shouldn't be shortening the prayer. So pay attention. Not that you traveled and while you traveled, you committed a sin. Nobody's free from committing a sin. But my intent to travel is to go do something haram. That's why I'm going down there. I'm only going down there to do something haram anyway. If that wasn't there, I wouldn't even have went down there. Right? Not that my intent was, for example, I'm going down there to visit family. Islamically, is visiting family recommended in Islam?
Yes.
No doubt, for sure. This is from worship, right? So I'm going down there to visit my family. While I'm down there visiting my family, we human, a person does some type of masiyah. They do some type of sin down there. They're not those people. The people who set up a whole travel in order to do something haram. So he's going down there to meet up with a woman who's not his wife. She's going down there to meet up with a man who's not her husband. They're going down there to do something illegal. No doubt, adultery, fornication. They're going down there to take money from somebody. I use our terms. They're going down there to take money. All right? They're going down there because it's cheaper down there. That's what they're going down there for. They're not going down there because, they're visiting, they're on vacation with their family. The person who sets out with the intent for that, when they travel, they can't shorten the salat. Many of the ulama say they don't get the pass to shorten the salat. Everybody clear? That's why it says for the one it is allowed for them to shorten. So for the one who's going on I'm just using this so it's clear. The one they're going down south to visit their family, they're going to Virginia, they're going to Maryland, they're going to New York, wherever they're going to travel to visit some family. They have the option to break the fast. They have the option. They don't have to break the fast, but they have the option because they're traveling. Yes.
Now, in regards to that, do you have to break the fast once you reach the point of travel? You understand what I mean? Like the distance, or you can do it?
Yeah, I would like that too. What considers like the distance?
Now, not necessarily the distance,
But
what's considered traveling. Once do I have to reach that point? Okay, halas. Now I consider traveling because I'm outside of the boundaries of where
Everybody understand the question? Do I break the fast? I'm traveling tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, let's say after Jummah, let's say tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? I'm jumping on the road to drive to Atlanta. Okay? I wake up tomorrow. Do I fast from the beginning of the day? Or since I'm traveling, I just don't fast? Fast and then break it? What did I say?
You said fast and then break it.
No, I'm asking.
No, I'm saying, so you saying you shouldn't fast? I'm asking.
He's saying like partaking of fast.
You know,
You still in Philly, you ain't traveling.
right. If you, as long as I didn't leave, I'm not a traveler yet, further. So, Jade, good. Good. He said, shouldn't you fast just in case? What if you don't go? What if you don't? What if you're going at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? We start fasting at 5:30. You say, well, I'm just not fasting today because we going down there at 10 o'clock. And then y'all end up not going. Now you got to make a day up, or either you had to make it up anyway, but this is a day you could have been fasting. Allahu Alam, Allahu Alam. It's safer to fast up until you leave, though. It's safer to fast up until you leave.
Your knee, I got you on the travel already.
For sure.
Your knee, I got you, so you got to break the fast.
You don't have to break the fast because remember, the traveler doesn't have to break the fast. The traveler has the option to break the fast, right? Remember that. So if you travel and you drive to Atlanta, you don't have to break your fast. It might be 3 of y'all in the car, 2 of y'all fasting, 1 of y'all not fasting. You can't get mad at the person who can hold their fast, right? Because you know how we do. You're supposed to break it, shake. You ain't. Yeah, you know, it's not that deep. If they comfortable fasting, let them fast. If y'all want to really get to it, if y'all really want to get to it, y'all got to hit the books and really get out and see what's the strongest opinion as far as holding the fast while you're traveling or not. But as far as we in the car traveling together, 2 people traveling, 1 person's not traveling, there's no problem.
The person that's traveling, right, his dua is accepted.
So,
And then the one that's fasting as well.
thought you.
So it's a double.
Well, I think he did that hadith already. He did that hadith in the other book. Tayyib. He says the next person, fayubahu. The other person, it is allowed for them to break the fast. I'm sorry. Recommended. 2 people they say is recommended for them to break the fast. The traveler who did not travel to do anything haram. They traveled, right? The second person that is recommended, yusannu, limarid yakhafu dar. The person that's sick, not every sickness though. They sick and they fear that if they fast while they're sick, it's going to cause more harm. Not every sickness. Some sickness is like this. Sometimes you get a little head cold. You fasting might not affect your head cold at all. It might make it better. You with me? So the sickness is that the sickness that will cause a person more harm in that sickness, they say it's better that they break the fast. Clear? Now if the sickness, if you fasting is not going to bother you that much, it's not going to bother the sickness that much, you can continue fasting. But this is the question, y'all. It says it's better to break the fast, right? So what if a person has a sickness, fasting makes their sickness worse, and they continue to fast? Can they do that?
Make it worse.
Yeah.
If it's harm or anything like that, no, you should not do it.
Can they do that?
If it's harming,
I'm stopping this on words, just based on the wording. Can they do that? They can. Should they do that? No. If it's going to cause more harm, they shouldn't keep fasting. If it's going to cause more harm, they shouldn't. But if they did do that, then they can, because we're not saying it's haram. We're saying that it's recommended that if it's going to cause you more harm, then you shouldn't break the fast. Clear? Tayyib. Those are the 2 people who is recommended to break the fast. Now these are the people who it's allowed to break the fast. It's a difference between something being recommended to do and something being allowed to do. What's the difference between something being recommended to do and something being allowed to do?
one, and you can, like, you want to, there's you got to.
Huh?
Detail.
A recommendation is you'll get rewarded if you do it because it's something that's the Prophet ﷺ probably preferred. But you
Okay.
have to do it. And allowable is something that probably nothing was spoken on. You just allowed to do it.
Jade. Okay. Further. What was you gonna say?
Oh, no, I was saying one is obligatory, like one is obligation and one is not.
If it's recommended, right? If it's recommended, there's an encouragement behind that to do it. If something is recommended, the encouragement from the deen is to do it like that. So it says for the first two people we just spoke about, it's recommended for the person who's sick and the fast is going to cause more harm to their sickness. It's an encouragement that they should break the fast. If it's allowed, there's no encouragement to do either one. Break it or not break it. But if they do, it's okay. Clear? So the encouragement is behind the recommendation. The encouragement is not behind the one that's allowed. Okay? So the people who are, it is allowed for them to break the fast. Oh, this is why I was coming up. This I knew. No, never mind. But it's kind of connected. I tell you, the first person, it's allowed for them to break the fast. لِحَاضِرٍ سَافَرَ فِي أَثْنَاءِ النَّهَارِ. The person, they're a resident, and then they traveled like in the middle of the day. That is what? That's what we were just talking about, right? It's allowed. Because it's allowed, there's no real encouragement, right? So it may be better to fast up until you leave. So if it's two of us leaving and we leaving together, maybe I fast the first half of the day. You say, well, listen, we traveling today anyway, so I'm going to just break my fast now. We waiting for the adhan, y'all? We breaking on that one. I know we got to do this every day. We're going to wait for the adhan? We're going to wait for the adhan, right? Break with the adhan, inshallah. This way it's no confusion. Ta'jil is fitr. Rushing to break the fast is when you're sure. What you got, 25? What you got? 25? Anybody got 26? Going once? Tayyib, let's do 25. We got 3 minutes, inshallah. Tayyib, the second person who is allowed to break the fast, and we did this yesterday, lihamil, the pregnant woman. Some sisters think that pregnant equals don't fast. Pregnant doesn't mean don't fast. Present doesn't mean can't fast. Pregnant means there's an option there. If needed, she can break the fast, right? Also, the murdi' khafata ala anfusihima or ala al-walad. And he was a whole detailed talk about this yesterday. The pregnant woman and the breastfeeding woman, they're in two situations. It's possible that they have a fear of harming themselves by fasting, and it's possible they have a fear of harming a baby by fasting. Everybody clear? She's pregnant. She fears that if she fasts, she might harm the baby, or she fears that she might get hurt herself by fasting. And if she's breastfeeding, same thing. She fears she might harm herself by fasting, or she fears she may harm the baby by fasting. Both of those women have the option, if that's the case, and they have that fear, they have the option of breaking the fast. ولكل ولكن لو افترضتا للخوف على الولد فقط لازم وليه إطعام مسكين لكل يوم. If the pregnant woman or the breastfeeding woman, they broke their fast not because they fear for themselves, they fear for the child, the baby. Everybody with me? They didn't break the fast because they thought they were going to harm themselves. They broke their fast based on the child, right? It says in this case, once they break the fast, that they have to feed a person for the day that they broke that fast based on breaking the fast for the baby. They want to feed a poor person for each day that they do that. If they did that more than one day, they might only did it once. They might have fasted the rest of the month. But one day she might have said, I don't know, it's looking kind of, and she might have broken her fast out of fear for the baby. And either way, she's going to have to make the day up. Yes. Jade, I'm glad you said that because I didn't translate that part. It's on the wali of the child, whoever's the male guardian of the child, to pay that note for the sister who broke her fast. Is that clear? The wali. If not, we could do that issue in the next class, inshallah, time. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.
الله أكبر الله